So we're walking along Main Street, also known as Victory Highway in Chepachet, Rhode Island.
We are.
This is really a quaint downtown section.
Yeah.
There's red brick sidewalks, historic buildings, cute shops, and restaurants.
It is picture-perfect New England.
Now, what are we here to see?
Ray, we're going to walk a little bit further up this bridge that spans the Chepachet River down below.
Okay.
Now, on this bridge, there's a tiny plaque. I mean, you'd miss it if you were driving by. You might even miss it if you were walking by and didn't know to look. But this plaque marks the spot of murder most foul. We're here to explore the ruthless murder of Little Betty. Hello, I'm Jeff Belanger. Welcome to episode 414 of the New England Legends podcast.
And I'm Ray Auger. Thanks for joining us on our mission to chronicle every legend in New England one story at a time. Whether ghosts, monsters, aliens, roadside oddities, or wicked strange, we love it all. Most of our story leads come from you, so please reach out to us anytime through our website.
And we'll explore this gruesome murder right after this word from our sponsor.
Now, placing a plaque on a site of a murder doesn't happen often.
Right.
Especially in a small town like Chepachet.
No, it doesn't.
Well, people don't like constant reminders of a bad event that took place on their main street.
Especially in this case, considering the killing took place 199 years ago.
Wow.
That's a long time to remember, but this was no ordinary murder.
All right, here's a little more background on Chepachet, Rhode Island. For thousands of years, this land was inhabited by the Pequot and Nipmuc people. In fact, the name Chepachet roughly translates to where the rivers meet. The town was founded in 1774 and was an early hotbed for people who supported independence from England. Chepachet was also the location where the famous Dorr Rebellion came to a close. That helped win voting rights for non-landowners in the Rhode Island state constitution.
This is an historic town for sure.
It's so historic that Chepachet was the first town in Rhode Island to be added to the prestigious National Registry of Historic Places back in 1971.
That's really cool, especially for a small town like this.
And it's still a small town. About 1,700 people call Chepachet home today.
So something like a murder won't be forgotten for a long time.
No, it won't.
Okay, to find out what happened to Little Betty, let's head back to the year 1826.
It's late May of 1826 here in Chepachet, Rhode Island. John Quincy Adams is president of the United States, and this new nation is still growing. Towns are expanding, and businesses and farms are starting to prosper. That means people are starting to have a little extra spending money.
But extra spending money is a good thing because that means people can spend money on things like a circus. The timing's good too because Hecaliah Bailey is coming back through Chepachet with his traveling circus.
Bailey's Circus came through Chepachet 4 years ago, and with summer just about here, he's returned. Everyone in town is buzzing about it.
Bailey's Circus travels from Maine down the coast to the Carolinas and back again. They mostly travel at night, though, so people don't get a free look at the menagerie of animals as they walk by.
It's Wednesday, May 24th, when Bailey's Circus arrives here in Chepachet. There's a good crowd gathered on the grounds of Angel's Hotel.
Yeah.
It's festive. Most of the town is gathered to see the spectacle. The biggest draw, and I mean the biggest, is under a tent over there. Under that tent is a 6,000-pound, 12-year-old elephant, one of the first 3 elephants to ever arrive in the United States. Patrons pay 12.5 cents to see her, and children under 12 pay half that price.
That's quite a line, too. I mean, think about it. This is a real live elephant. Most people around here have only read about them. Maybe they saw a drawing somewhere, but this is the real thing. There is no beast anywhere this size in New England. Not on land, anyway.
The crowd is pretty excited by seeing this thing up close. Bailey has billed the animal as the fabulous learned elephant.
She is smart, too. The elephant can do a few tricks and knows who various people are around her. They're really smart animals. Though many here are delighted to see the pachyderm, there are some that view this whole event as an abomination. It distracts from church and work, and some poor folks can't afford the 12.5 cents to see something like this.
Haters gonna hate, I guess.
That's true. It's now Friday, May 26th. Bailey Circus is ready to move on to the next town. It's just after midnight. The elephant's handlers and other parts of the circus are packing up to travel under darkness to the town of Smithfield, about 10 miles away.
They travel by night so no one gets a free look at the elephant. So the elephant heads out with one of the handlers on horseback. A couple of others are walking along. There's also a few locals who decided to stay up late and watch the elephant leave town. They had only been walking a few minutes when they reached the bridge heading out of town. It's late. It's been a long day, and there's hours of travel ahead.
Oh, what was
I
that?
don't know.
The elephant just dropped to the ground.
Were those gunshots?
I don't know. The elephant's bleeding from her head.
I think those were gunshots. Other people from nearby are gathering on the bridge now. It's clear someone shot the elephant.
The elephant's handlers are beside themselves. Who would do such a cowardly and monstrous act? By the time the sun comes up, word is spread throughout town. Shock has given way to anger, and folks are demanding justice, as is Hecaliah Bailey, who lost his star attraction.
The investigation moves quickly. In just a couple days, 6 men are arrested. There's Fenner Eddy, John Inman, Albert Eddy, Francis West, Angel Darling, and Benjamin Bowen. The men go before the Rhode Island Court of Justices with Judge Branch of Chepachet presiding.
During the trial, the group's entire plan comes to light. These men planned this murder of the elephant. They knew when she was being moved, and they waited. West and Bowen stood watch on the road to give a warning to the others when the elephant was getting close. Fenner Eddy and John Inman were stationed in the window of the nearby gristmill with 3 guns. Angel Darling and Albert Eddy helped load those guns, and the plan was clear. If no man was in the way, shoot the elephant anywhere you can.
After the shots were fired, the men hid the guns in the gristmill, then came outside to mingle into the crowd of shocked onlookers.
So they were hiding in plain sight.
They were. The event was so shocking that no one considered a crime was happening at the time. No one thought to search for gunmen because who would do such a thing?
The judge finds the men guilty and fines each of them $100 and 2 months in prison, which is the maximum allowed by law for killing an ordinary animal such as a horse or a cow. The laws were never written thinking an elephant might be in town. The judge then ruled that Bailey could go after the men in civil court for his other financial losses, but considering the killers were not men of much means, there was little that could be recovered besides their land.
At the end of the day, there was no clear motive or reason for the killing. The best they can figure is the men wanted to be able to say that they shot and killed an elephant.
How utterly stupid and senseless.
Well, these men were utterly stupid and senseless.
Yeah, agreed. So the elephant's name was Little Bet. And this was the second elephant Bailey saw murdered under his watch. The first was Old Bet in Alfred, Maine, back in 1816. And that brings us back to today.
Okay, there's a lot more to say here.
Yeah, there is.
But we covered the slaying of Old Bet back in episode 189.
We did.
And I can't believe this happened again.
It did, right here in Chepachet. So back in 1976, 2 Chepachet locals named Richmond and Edna Kent organized an event to commemorate the slaying of this poor elephant. The town wanted nothing to do with it until they determined that none of the perpetrators were actually from Chepachet, but they all were from Rhode Island.
So I'm reading this little plaque on the bridge, and it says May 25, 1826 to May 25, 1976. Diverse hands fired upon Betty, one of America's first elephants at the north end of the rustic span that arched Chepachet River. Given an observation of the 150th anniversary of the event by Richmond and Edna Kent.
If we head over to Douglas Hook Road, just behind the Chepachet Town Hall, and next to the old one-room schoolhouse building, there's a 7-foot statue of Betty the elephant. Now, I know it looks a lot like a Mr. Potato Head statue that's been painted gray with an elephant trunk.
I guess the town has since embraced this part of their identity.
They have. And to this day, here in Chepachet, every May 25th, they celebrate Elephant Day.
And that brings us to After the Legend, where we take a deeper dive into this week's story and sometimes veer off course.
After the Legend's brought to you by our Patreon patrons. We love our patrons. They are the best. We need each and every one of them, and we need you there too. Our patrons get a direct line to us. They get early ad-free access to new episodes. They get the entire archive of shows, plus bonus episodes and content that no one else gets to hear. All we ask is $3 per month, but it goes a long way in helping us with all the costs it takes to do what we do. You can join us there at patreon.com/New England Legends. And to see some pictures related to this week's story, click on the link in our episode description or head to our website and click on episode 414.
It's amazing that they took the time. Like, it wasn't just the elephants running wild and somebody had a gun and they felt like shooting it because they were in danger.
No.
This was planned.
Yeah. It was
to kill an animal.
Yeah, a defenseless animal that was just walking along. And what's crazy is, we did cover this story way back when, Old Bet in Alfred, Maine.
Yeah.
It's eerily similar, except that the person that killed Old Bet was a religious zealot who couldn't afford the ticket to see, for his kids, and was just like purely offended by the whole thing, felt it was anti-biblical, and said, I'll put an end to it. And so that's why he did what he did. This is even worse. This was literally like, hey, boys, we could tell each other, we could tell our friends, we killed an elephant.
Right.
And,
you killed an elephant, but you're messing with somebody's livelihood as well.
Well, right.
The star attraction.
Yeah.
That makes Bailey money.
Yeah. It was much bigger than that. So most of what we know about this whole story comes from a letter written to the Providence Journal, June 1st, 1826, from a witness who laid it all out in this letter, saying this is exactly what happened. And so the details we got were taken from that letter. But yeah, not the kind of thing you'd think you'd put a plaque up for, but Alfred, Maine has a plaque for Old Bet right on the side of the road. That one though, this is like, you're driving down the road, there's like a rock with a plaque on it.
Yeah.
This plaque is so small. It's like the size of like a computer laptop, like the size. And it's just right there on these rails. And you would literally walk by it. Driving by, someone would have to say like, oh, it's right over there. See it? And you'd see the little rectangle. You could walk by it and not see it. You have to know where to go and where to look. And then it's quite obvious. But yeah, so they decided to put this thing up and make a thing of it. And
it was probably the biggest thing that ever happened in town.
in Chepachet.
Since, too.
It could be. But yeah, so we've got memorials to two of the first 3 elephants brought to America were murdered. 2, both in New England. Come on, do better, New England.
We hate elephants here.
Clearly, my goodness.
Do you think Bailey banned Chepachet as
After
like a
that?
stop? Like, we're never going back here again.
2 towns were never going to.
2 towns, right, exactly, yeah.
Alfred, Maine, yeah.
2 towns banned in New England from
Alfred
the circus.
and Chepachet. So Hecali Bailey was a distant relative of James Bailey, who was part of the famous Bailey Circus, which went on to become Barnum and Bailey Circus. So anyway, there's a whole circus connection there. But yeah, no, it's I don't understand, and I know killing of animals is a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but I think we got to talk about this stuff because there are people that resort to senseless violence against defenseless animals,
right?
And
if you're trying to save the animal, like I'm sure that's in the back of someone's head, like I'm going to set it free by killing it.
Yeah, that's
you just find there's other ways.
Yeah, and I get it too. And by the way, I don't think these guys were that progressive. I think they were literally just like
a bunch of hunting idiots.
Yeah, just like, oh, I shot
a deer yesterday.
Yeah, we got a deer. What's bigger? Yeah. So what a shame. They were fined and punished to the full extent of the law, which wasn't much because they figured someone like misfired and shot a horse.
Right.
And you got to compensate the owner, and you can get a fine if we thought you're being reckless. No one ever considered like the premeditated murder of a giant elephant walking down Main Street at 1 a.m.
Were they aiming at Bailey?
No. In fact, the letter made it clear: if there's a person in the way, don't shoot.
Oh, okay.
But if you got a clear shot at the elephant, just shoot the elephant anywhere you can. Which to me, is still absolutely reckless because not only were the handlers nearby, but there was a crowd of like locals that are like, I'm going to just stay up late and walk the elephant out of town just so I can see this.
So
thing.
There's a crowd there.
There's a crowd,
you're shooting into or around a crowd.
You're shooting where people are. If I was a judge, I'd be like, well, there's another charge here, like reckless endangerment of the general public.
How entertaining was this elephant? What did it do?
Nothing. Not
nothing.
Much.
See,
right?
So you spend 12.5 cents and you get nothing. You're going to get a little angry.
I don't know if these guys bought the ticket.
They went and didn't see anything. I thought it was going to stand on its head or something. It did nothing.
But imagine, it's so foreign for us now to imagine this time. Like there were no photographs yet. The photo didn't exist yet. So it's not like you saw.
There's no video.
There's no video. There's no like National Geographic channel. It's literally like the elephant is the biggest land animal there is, and one is going to be in Chepachet.
I see what you mean.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, you tell your kids, like, we're going to save up for this.
I think when we talked about Old Bet, there were many people that have never seen, they didn't even know what an elephant would look like.
Imagine something, so you've lived your whole life in New England, and all you know is like whatever you see around you. Squirrels and skunks and
small animals.
Yeah, deer.
Pretty much. A horse would be the biggest thing.
Horse, maybe an elk, maybe a cow, right? You've seen
moose.
And here comes this thing that is just so much bigger exponentially. And you're like, this is a giant monster that walks the earth.
We didn't know what woolly mammoths look like, right? Because we
Right.
didn't have pictures.
No.
So you see this thing with this huge trunk, big ears.
Yeah.
And it's 10 times the size of your carriage.
It's out of a story, right? And
Right? I mean, that could be a motive. Like, that's the devil right there.
Well, but from what all so I saw one article, and I'm not even going to repeat it because we're not sure. They were part of a certain group.
We also said they're not that smart either.
Right.
So there was probably no good motive. There's never a good motive, obviously, but
In Alfred, Maine, the motive was at least religious. He walked on my land. I'm having at it, right? Yeah. So like, I believe divinely that this is the right thing to do. This was just stupidity and awful. Like, just,
could have been drunk. Could have been one of those things after the pub. It's like, let's go shoot an elephant.
I don't know, man.
How many times have you said, let's go steal a car after drinking too much?
Only when it's like the cop car and it's running and the door's open and the cop knows no one would have the guts to do it.
Only when they're asking for it.
Like, you're just move it 10 feet.
I think if I was a cop and I was bored on a Friday night, I would do that.
Just leave the door open.
Just leave it running. Go stand in the alley, in the dark alley, and just wait for somebody to get in.
Yeah, when I see that, there's a part of you that's just like, I don't want to steal it. I don't want to become like a convicted felon. I just want to move it 10 feet. And
around the corner.
See if the cop's like, I thought I was back further,
Park it across the street.
Yeah.
I didn't park on that side.
I did not leave the lights on. That I remember. Woo, woo. Yeah. So, that would be... That'd be bragging rights.
I think so.
What'd you do?
It's a story.
You stole a cop car? Well, I moved it 10 feet. They put the theft thing on there, and you're like, all right, that's kind of respect.
Yeah,
you know
it's a story for the grandkids
I wasn't really going to steal it. I just wanted to move it a little bit.
Practical joke.
Yeah.
They love that.
They adore it. Yeah. Don't try it. I don't imagine they have a sense of humor about that thing. But anyway, if you're walking down Main Street in Chepachet, look for that little old sign and remember how stupid people can be.
Please make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts because it's free and we don't want you to miss a thing. We also appreciate it when you tell others about us and when you post reviews about us online. They help out a lot.
They do.
Also, be sure to check out Jeff Belanger and Frank Grace's new book, Wicked Strange New England, and check out our website to see dates for Jeff's fall story tour and dates to see my band, the Pub Kings.
We'd like to thank our sponsors. Thank you to our Patreon patrons, and our theme music is by John Judd.
Until next time, remember,
the bazaar is closer than you think.